Council tax is one of the biggest bills a pensioner faces. For many of you, well over £2,000 a year, landing on the mat every spring, going up and up, whether your income does or not. Most people just grit their teeth and pay it, assuming there's nothing to be done. But here's what almost nobody realises. There are legal ways to cut that bill, sometimes by a quarter, sometimes in half, and in some cases, to wipe it out entirely. And the most shocking part of all, one of these could not only slash your bill going forward, but also hand you back thousands of pounds you've already overpaid. In some cases, years and years of payments, refunded in one lump sum. I'm serious. There are real people who discovered they'd been overpaying their council tax for years, applied for a reduction they were always entitled to, and received a backdated refund of £5,000, £8,000, even £10,000. Money that was theirs all along, that they'd been handing over needlessly, simply because nobody told them they qualified. And there are hundreds of thousands of people right now, still overpaying, still not claiming, still with no idea that the reduction exists. And here's why this happens. Your council will never, ever knock on your door and tell you you're paying too much. They won't write to you and say, by the way, you qualify for a discount. It's entirely up to you to know these reductions exist and to claim them. Miss them, and you simply keep overpaying year after year. And the council keeps your money. So today, I'm going to walk you through 6 legal ways to cut your council tax bill, one by one, who qualifies for each, and exactly how to claim. And that one that can refund you years of payments is number 3, so make sure you stay for it, because it's the one that changes lives. But stay with me, because you have to understand how council tax actually works before these reductions make sense. My name's Robert. Let's get into it. So let's start with why so many people are overpaying in the first place. Because once you understand how council tax works, you'll see exactly where the opportunities to cut it are hiding. Council tax is a bill charged on your home to pay for local services, the bins, the roads, the local council. And how much you pay is based mainly on 2 things. The band your property is in, from A up to H, which is supposed to reflect what your home was worth decades ago, and the rates your particular local council sets each year. The average bill for a Band E property in England is now around £2,400 a year, and it climbs almost every April. So it's a serious, ongoing cost. Now here's the crucial thing most people don't understand. The standard bill assumes a normal situation. 2 adults living in the property, both liable to pay in full. But life is full of situations that are not that. People living alone, people with disabilities, people with certain health conditions, people on low incomes, carers. And for every one of those situations, there is a discount, a reduction, or an exemption built into the rules. The system is riddled with them. But and this is the whole problem, almost all of them have to be actively claimed. The council applies the full bill by default, and then it's up to you to tell them, actually, my situation qualifies for a reduction. So the people overpaying aren't doing anything wrong. They just don't know which of these situations they fall into, or that a reduction exists for it. And some of these reductions are worth a fortune, not just going forward, but backdated. So let me make sure you know every one that might apply to you. Let me show you what's at stake first. Let me be clear about the sheer scale of money involved here, because it's much bigger than people imagine, and it comes in 2 forms. The first is your future bills. A 25% discount on a £2,400 bill is £600 a year, back in your pocket every single year for the rest of the time you live there. A 50% reduction is £1,200 a year. And a full exemption, some people qualify to pay nothing at all, is the entire bill wiped out year after year. Over a retirement, these reductions can add up to tens of thousands of pounds. This is not loose change, it's one of the most valuable things a pensioner can sort out. But here's the second form, and it's the bombshell I promised you: backdating. Some of these reductions, particularly the one I'll cover as number 3, can be backdated to when you first became eligible, not just from when you apply. And for some conditions, that eligibility can stretch back many years. So people have applied, been found eligible, and then received a refund covering years of overpaid council tax. Genuine cases of £5,000, £8,000, even over £10,000 paid back in a single lump sum. Imagine that. A cheque from the council for thousands of pounds, money you'd been overpaying for a decade, simply because you finally claimed what you were always owed. That is why this matters so much, and why I don't want you to miss a single one of these 6. So let me give them to you, but first, one quick thing. For those of you who'd rather have all of this, council tax help, pension credit, attendance allowance, the state pension, and all the discounts and deadlines that catch people out, written down in plain English in one place, I've put it into a guide called the UK Pensioner Survival Playbook for 2026 and 2027. No jargon, nothing complicated. If you'd like it by your side, the link is in the description below at robertretires.com/UK. That's it. Now, here are the 6 legal ways to cut your council tax bill one by one. And remember, number 3 is the one that can refund you years of payments. Way number 1 is the simplest, the most common, and one a lot of people still forget to claim: the single person discount. Here's the rule. Council tax is calculated assuming 2 adults live in the home. So if you live alone, if you're the only adult in the property, you are entitled to a 25% discount on your bill, a quarter off straight away. On that average bill, that's around £600 a year, back in your pocket, just for living on your own. And this matters enormously for pensioners specifically, because so many of us end up living alone in later life, after a spouse passes away, for example. And that's exactly a moment this gets missed. Someone loses their husband or wife, they're grieving, the last thing on their mind is the council tax, and they carry on paying the full 2 adult rate for months or even years, when they should be getting 25% off from the day they became the only adult in the home. And here's a lovely detail that widens who qualifies. It's not just about living completely alone. Certain people are disregarded, meaning they're not counted as a second adult for council tax, even though they live with you. So if the only other person in your home falls into one of those disregarded groups, and I'll cover some of them shortly, you can still get that 25% single person discount, even though you're not technically living alone. So, if you live by yourself, or with only certain other people, claim this. It's quick, it ignores your income and savings entirely, and it's worth hundreds a year. Contact your council and ask for the single person discount. Way number 2 is the big one for anyone on a lower income, and it can wipe out your bill completely. Council tax reduction, sometimes still called council tax support. This one is means tested, it's based on your income and savings, and it's designed to help people who are struggling to afford their bill. And here's how powerful it is. Depending on your income, it can reduce your council tax by anything up to 100%. That's right. Some pensioners on low incomes pay no council tax at all, the entire bill covered by this reduction. Even if you don't qualify for the full amount, you may get a substantial chunk knocked off. So for anyone on a modest income in retirement, this is potentially worth thousands a year. But here's the single most important thing I can tell you in this whole video, the golden key that unlocks it: pension credit. If you receive the guarantee credit part of pension credit, you automatically qualify for the maximum council tax reduction, up to your entire bill wiped out. And this connects to a scandal I've talked about before. Hundreds of thousands of pensioners who are entitled to pension credit never claim it. So they're missing not just the pension credit itself, which is worth thousands a year on its own, but also this maximum council tax reduction that comes with it, and a whole host of other help. So please, if your income is low, do 2 things. Check whether you qualify for pension credit, and apply for council tax reduction through your local council. Even if you're not on pension credit, you may still qualify for a reduction based on your income, so it's always worth applying. Don't assume you earn too much, or check. Way number 3 is the one I promised you, the one that can refund you years of payments, and the one that is most tragically underclaimed of all. It's the discount for what's officially called severe mental impairment. Now, don't let that clinical term put you off, because it covers something incredibly common in later life. A person is treated as severely mentally impaired for council tax purposes if they have a permanent condition that seriously affects their intelligence and social functioning. And the classic example, the one that affects so many families, is dementia and Alzheimer's disease. It also covers conditions like Parkinson's, the after effects of a severe stroke, and profound learning difficulties. And here's the powerful part. Someone in this situation is disregarded for council tax. They're not counted as an adult at all. So, if a person with dementia lives alone, they can be fully exempt, paying nothing. If they live with one other adult, that household gets the 25% discount. If everyone in the home qualifies, it can be a 50% or even a full reduction. To claim it, you generally need 2 things: a doctor to certify the severe mental impairment and the person to be entitled to a qualifying disability benefit, like attendance allowance or PIP. And now, the backdating bombshell. This discount can often be backdated to when the person first became eligible, and for someone who's had dementia for years, that can mean a refund covering all those years of overpaid council tax. This is exactly where those £5,000, £8,000, £10,000 refunds come from. Families who've been caring for a loved one with dementia for years, paying the full council tax the whole time, suddenly discover they were never supposed to and get thousands back. And here's a heartbreaking but important point. Even if the person has sadly passed away, the family or the executor of their estate may still be able to claim a rebate for the council tax that was overpaid. So if you, or someone you love, or someone you've lost, had dementia or a similar condition and was paying council tax, please look into this immediately. It could be worth a fortune, and hardly anyone knows about it. Way number 4 is for anyone whose home has been adapted for a disability, the Disabled Band Reduction Scheme. Here's how it works. If someone in your household is disabled and your home has certain features needed because of that disability, your council can reduce your bill by charging you as if your home were in the band below. So a Band D home would be billed at the Band C rate, a real, permanent saving worth a few £100s a year. What kind of features count? Things like an extra bathroom or kitchen needed for the disabled person, a room mainly used for their needs, such as for treatment or therapy, or enough indoor space to use a wheelchair. And here's a bonus. Even if your home is already in the lowest band, Band A, you can still get a reduction, worth around £280 a year in 2026. So if your home has been adapted in any of those ways for a disabled person, whether an adult or a child, contact your council about the disabled band reduction. Way number 5 is one that carers, in particular, miss all the time: the carer's disregard. Remember I mentioned that certain people are disregarded and not counted for council tax? Well, a live-in carer can be one of them if you have someone living with you who provides substantial care, generally at least 35 hours a week, to a person in the home who receives a qualifying disability benefit. That carer can be disregarded for council tax purposes. And when a person is disregarded, it can trigger a discount, often at 25% off. Now, there's an important condition. This usually doesn't apply to someone caring for their own spouse or partner, but it can apply to, for example, an adult child who's moved in to care for a parent, or another relative or friend acting as carer. So if someone has moved in to care for you, or you've moved in to care for a relative, this is well worth checking. It's frequently overlooked, and it can knock a quarter off the bill. Way number 6 is really 2 final opportunities rolled together, and the first one is a genuine sleeper that can lead to a big refund, checking whether your property is in the wrong council tax band in the first place. Here's the situation. The bands that decide your bill were set back in 1991 in something of a rush, and it's widely accepted that a significant number of properties were put in the wrong band from the very start, often too high. So you could have been overpaying for decades simply because your home was misbanded. You can check what band your neighbours in similar or identical properties are in. That information is public. And if you find that comparable homes are in a lower band than yours, you may be able to challenge your band and get it lowered. And if your challenge succeeds, not only does your future bill drop, but you can get a refund backdated potentially all the way to when you moved in. Now, one honest word of caution. Challenge only if you have good evidence, like similar neighbouring homes in a lower band, because in rare cases, a review could move a band the other way. But done properly, with evidence, it's a powerful check that costs nothing to look into. And the second part of Way 6 is simply to know the other disregarded groups, because they can unlock discounts too. People who are not counted as adults for council tax include full-time students, apprentices on low pay, people in certain care situations, and others. So if anyone in your household falls into one of these groups, it may reduce your bill or qualify you for that single person discount if it leaves just one counted adult. It's always worth asking your council, is anyone in my household disregarded, and does that entitle me to a discount? You might be pleasantly surprised. Now, before I let you go, a few honest points, because with council tax, the details really matter. First, and most important, council tax rules vary across the UK. The core discounts I've described exist in some form across England, Scotland, and Wales, but the exact schemes, the amounts, and especially the local council tax reduction schemes differ from council to council and between the nations. Northern Ireland uses a completely different system called rates, so treat everything here as the map, not the precise turn-by-turn directions for your street. Always check the specifics with your own local council. Second, you have to claim these, and you claim them through your local council for free. Please go directly to your own council's website or the official gov.uk site to apply. Be wary of any company that offers to claim a council tax refund or band reduction on your behalf for a fee or a cut of your refund. You can do all of this yourself for nothing. Don't give away a slice of money that's rightfully yours. And third, some of these, especially the severe mental impairment discount and challenging your band, can involve a bit of paperwork and evidence, and the backdating rules can get complicated. So if it feels daunting, get free help. Charities like Age UK and Citizens Advice offer free benefits checks and can help you work out exactly what you're entitled to and how to claim it. A free benefits check is one of the most worthwhile things a pensioner can do. It often uncovers hundreds or thousands of pounds a year in support people didn't know they could get. The bottom line is this: council tax quietly overcharges huge numbers of pensioners. The reductions are real and generous, and one of them can even refund you years of overpayments. So check every one of these 6 against your situation, claim what's yours directly and for free, and don't let the council keep a penny more than it's owed. So let's bring it home. 6 legal ways to cut your council tax. 1. The single person discount, 25% off if you live alone. 2. Council tax reduction, up to 100% off on a low income and automatic maximum reduction if you're on guarantee credit pension credit. 3. The big one, the severe mental impairment discount for conditions like dementia, which can wipe out the bill and refund years of overpayments. 4. The disabled band reduction if your home's been adapted. 5. The carer's disregard if someone's moved in to care for you. And 6. Checking your band for a possible refund, plus the other disregarded groups. Claim them directly, for free, and check your specifics with your council. There could be thousands of pounds waiting for you. If this was useful, do me a favour and share it with another pensioner or someone caring for a relative with dementia. That number 3 alone could put thousands of pounds back in a family's pocket, and hardly anyone knows about it. Hit subscribe for more, and if you'd like it all written down in one place, the Pensioner Survival Playbook link is in the description. I'm Robert. Look after yourselves, look after your money, and I'll see you in the next one.